I bought a leasehold property in 2014 and fully intended to buy the freehold after 2 years when I was legally entitled to do so. But before that point, they sold the freehold on. And I didn't realise what the impact of the onward sale of my freehold would be to me. My house was built by Bellway. They sold the freehold on without my knowledge because the right of first refusal does not apply to houses, only flats. So they wrote to me after they'd sold my freehold on saying, this is your new freeholder and these will be the people that will be collecting your ground rent and nothing else will change. Alarm bells didn't really start ringing. They sold it onto a company called Adriatic Land for GR1 Limited.
And how much do you know about that company?
I know that it's linked to the David Cameron family, William Astor. My ground rent's collected by a company called Homeground. You can't ring Homeground, there's no phone number for them, they don't take incoming calls. The only way I can correspond with them is via email. If you want to ask them any form of question, it's £108.
Well, hang on, I mean, because people think that an expensive landline, for instance, the universal credit thing with 55p a minute is bad. If you also ask a question...
If you want to ask if you need permission to do certain things, you need to pay £108.
And when you say permission to do certain things, what does that mean?
For example, if I wanted to build a small conservatory, which didn't need planning permission, so very small, Bellway would have wanted £300 permission fee. But when they sold the freehold on to the third party, the same permission costs £2,600. So not only was my ground rent sold on, it was the X factor, and it's the X factor that people don't realise. I pay £150 a year ground rent. To me, that is not my personal problem. Mine is the X factor, which I didn't realise.
What is the X factor?
Is the permission fees that are associated with your house. If you want to put your house up for sale, you have to pay a permission fee. Some people's leases, if you want to change your carpets to wooden floors, there's a permission fee. If you want to change mortgage providers, so every 2 years when your mortgage is up, you've got to pay a permission fee to do so. And these are fees which, you know, was not identified upon sale when I bought the house.
This is a racket.
It's a complete racket. It's unique to England and Wales. We sell leasehold properties. Leasehold just means tenancy. It's usually used for flats, but developers have recognised what a successful racket this is and have spread it to houses and have now increasingly built leasehold houses up and down the country.